Hey guys, and this video may be my most old man yells at cloud take yet. I know I'm pretty young, I'm only 21, but you get my point. It's gonna be kind of nitpicky because this is not a huge issue. It's just something that I'm a little annoyed about personally, and that is with the Super Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 edition, because there seems to be a lot of asterisks involved with this, and a lot of little corners that Nintendo Cube seems to be cutting here. It just is a little bit frustrating due to the fact that this is a $20 upgrade, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it here. But before we get started, I wanted to mention that I have a goal to hit 30,000 subscribers before the Nintendo Switch 2 launches. So if you enjoy my content, consider subscribing. If I hit that goal, I will give away a copy of Mario Kart World. But this Switch 2 edition, I think there's a lot of cool elements to it. I think it will be a pretty fun package overall for what they're advertising with Jamboree TV. Because from what I've heard from both Demeech as well as Good Vibes Gaming and other YouTubers out there that have covered the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Jamboree, it seems like a lot of the new minigames are actually pretty impressive with HD Rumble 2 and the mouse, and seem to be pretty fun from what I've heard. I know I was a bit critical in the past of Super Mario Party Jamboree having a lot of modes that I didn't really use, even though I love Super Mario Party Jamboree. It's now my new favorite Mario Party game, just with how well it handles its boards. But it did have some modes tacked on that did kind of seem unnecessary and just seemed like it was trying to pad out the game with saying it had a ton of modes. But the modes with the Nintendo Switch 2 edition seem to be a little more fleshed out and seem to be a little better designed, I would say, because they are designed with those new Switch 2 features in mind. And see, it does seem like there was a little more care put into these from what I've seen. And as far as I know, the new minigames are also compatible with the main Mario Party mode with the boards. So I think that is a pretty good thing. I think that is pretty cool and everything. But with the package that they're advertising, it seems to be fine. But there are some corners that Nintendo Cube seems to be cutting. And it always really seems like there are a lot of circumstances where Nintendo Cube develops a game, or in this case, technically an upgrade pack / DLC-ish thing for a game, where for the most part, it seems to be pretty interesting and pretty well designed and well polished, but there's always something that they leave out, or there's always some catch involved with it. And this time, there's a few little things. I feel like they're kind of nickel and diming us with little asterisks and little things about this, because one thing that stood out to me is the fact that only Jamboree TV will be getting a resolution upgrade, not the whole game, which is just really bizarre. Because this is a Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade of the game, and almost every other game that is getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition will be getting some kind of resolution or frame rate jump. But this is really only getting a resolution bump for the new modes that are being added, and it's not even 4K, it's 1440p. 1440p is acceptable, I would say, and if it was the whole game getting upgraded to 1440p, then I would be fine with that, honestly. 1440p, 60 FPS, I think that's perfectly acceptable and reasonable to expect from Nintendo Cube. I know 4K can sometimes be pretty demanding, and even though this is a Switch 1 game, and Switch 1 games are not really demanding for the Switch 2, I still think 4K might be a little hard to pull off in some areas. I know there are like DLSS and different upscaling methods, but I feel like for Nintendo Cube's sake, I think 1440p would have been acceptable if it was the entire game. But just Jamboree TV is kind of bizarre. Like, these are using like pretty much the same assets from the regular game. I mean, they are kind of modeling out new areas and things, and they are adding like a few new character models in there, like Talking Flower and different things, which is pretty cool. And there are also like the new mini games as well that are getting like new environments and things, but it seems to be about the same level of quality as the rest of Super Mario Party Jamboree. So I don't really see why they're only limiting that resolution to Jamboree TV. I just think that's really weird, and just a really weird corner to cut there. Because I feel like part of the point of these Switch 2 editions are to get that resolution and frame rate upgrade. I know Jamboree TV is kind of showcasing the new features of the Switch 2. Like, I know that's kind of the point of it. But it just seems a bit weird. Like, it doesn't really seem like it would have taken them that much effort to get the regular game running in at least 1440p. Like, they are making some changes to the regular game too. Like, you'll be able to use the game chat camera with like Mario Party. They have like a little thing that pops up like by the character. I think that's cute. It's a cute little thing that they're doing there. But if they are making those changes to the base game, then I don't see why they couldn't have just upped the resolution there. So it's just kind of bizarre that like they're only doing it for Jamboree TV. Like, I don't know why. It's just so weird. I don't understand Nintendo Cube sometimes. Like, ever since, I mean, I guess it goes way before Super Mario Party, but like, just with Super Mario Party, with that like online, that weird Mario Coliseum thing they did for, and with that being the only online mode up until 2021, like right before Superstars released, and it was just this awful online mode where there were only like 5 mini games that you could play, and just at that point, why even bother with online in the first place? I think it's a similar thing here, but it's not as disappointing because it's not like, just like 1080p is still like acceptable and everything, but if we're paying $20 for this, I think like we really should have expected the regular game to get like at least a little jump in resolution. But I think that's enough of kind of like talking about that, because there are a couple other gripes that I have with this upgrade. Because there's also Game Share as well, and I think Game Share is a pretty cool feature for the Switch 2. Like, it's basically like download play, like a new version of that, but it also has like online functionality as well. However, the only game compatible with Game Share so far that will not be supporting online is, of course, Super Mario Party Jamboree. I mean, and it kind of tracks with Nintendo Cube's history of kind of like being a little behind with online. I mean, I know Superstars and Jamboree have pretty good online, I would say. I would actually say Superstars and Jamboree have some of the best online on the Switch 1. But it just seems like, I think a little bit of that weird mindset that they had from the original Super Mario Party kind of carried over here, because it's not going to be supported with Game Chat. And also, it's only compatible with like handheld mode. I think that's, I'm not sure if that's a Game Chat thing in general. Like, I if that's the case, then that's a little weird. I don't know if that's the case with like every game, but it is the case for Super Mario Party Jamboree. So, because it is one of the asterisks that's there. But if that's just a thing for Jamboree, then that's kind of weird. Like, why not have someone connect to, like, the TV and then have everybody else connect to, like, the switches? Or if you're gonna have multiple TV setups, like, have them connect through Game Share that way. I just think that's a weird limitation to have, and I don't really understand it. And there's also some other limitations with Game Share as well. It only has party roles, which, I mean, I guess party roles, that's really the main thing that people are gonna play here. Just being party roles here, that's not really a huge loss. I don't really play with pro roles that much. I mean, I guess that is kind of weird. I was thinking, like, party roles, Mario Party mode, but I guess that kind of limits it down to only party roles and not pro roles. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's a really weird limitation to have, so that's kind of weird. You can only play 30 select minigames. I'm not sure that's the amount of minigames that are, like, basically not motion minigames. I think there's a lot more than that are, like, just regular minigames that aren't just, like, motion controls. So, I think 30 is just a really weird, arbitrary number, if that isn't what I'm thinking. So, I just think that's a weird limitation to have, like, only party roles, 30 select minigames. That is just kind of weird. And also, the way they described it on the website is kind of weird, because they said with one game, up to 4 people can play Mega Wiggler's Tree Party board in Mario Party mode. I'm thinking, is it only Mega Wiggler's Tree Party? I mean, like, it's not, like, listed as, like, the disclaimers or anything. I certainly hope it isn't just Mega Wiggler's Tree Party. I've been wondering that ever since they updated this website a month ago. I don't think that's the case. I think they're just using that as an example. I really hope they're using that as an example. But it just seems like a really weird thing that Nintendo Cube would do. So, and then they also said not compatible with Game Share through Game Chat. I mean, I guess we'll have to get a feel of how, like, Game Chat will work, and just how the Game Share kind of interacting with Game Chat will work. Like, if you're gonna share a game while you're doing Game Chat. I guess it kind of makes sense in this case, since it's not, like, compatible with online via Game Chat, as it said on there. But yeah, that's just kind of weird that they're not because Mario Party, it's a game that I love to play online with people, and it would be nice if I could share this with someone who doesn't own the game. I just think it's really weird that this is one of the only games that's compatible with Game Share so far that's being locked off. Because, like, this is really, like, the biggest and kind of most, like, interesting game with Game Share. This is the one that actually makes the most sense with Game Share. I know there's also other games like Clubhouse Games, which is another game that was developed by Nintendo Cube that supports online via Game Chat, but not Super Mario Party Jamboree. And then there's also 3D World as well, which I guess that is pretty nice, because that is a very fun game to play with co-op. But Super Mario Party Jamboree seems like the biggest potential for Game Share here, and that not having online support with that, with Game Chat, is just really weird. So there just seems to be a lot of, like, really weird limitations with this. And then also just with the package of Super Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 Edition in general, I think they could have done a little more than just the gimmicks of the new Switch 2 features. Like, I mean, I'm still, like, excited about, like, these new mini-games and modes and things, because from what I've heard, it is a pretty impressive showcase of the Switch 2, and I do think it is cool that they're using Mario to do, like, a showcase, like, this is almost like one of those gimmicky tech demo titles that I want, kind of, like, basically repurposed as DLC for an existing Mario Party game. So in a way, I do think it is cool, and I do like the idea of it, because it does seem to be a little more fleshed out than Jamboree's base game, like, modes that I was kind of talking about earlier. But I think they could have done a little more here for $20. I'm not sure how much this content will really be, and like how long it will take to get through this, or how often I'm gonna want to play this. But I feel like they could have added like a little more to this, and I feel like they could have catered a little more to the target audience of Mario Party. And I know I'm saying target audience of Mario Party, it's to Nintendo, it's probably like the casual players and the families and different things, but to be completely honest, I feel like at this point, most people who've been playing like Mario Party Jamboree, Mario Party Superstars, I feel like at this point, most people playing Mario Party mainly go to the main board mode, like the mode that everybody thinks about when they think of Mario Party. I think everybody is used to that classic Hudson Soft Mario Party formula by now, since like Nintendo Cube brought it back, they fully fleshed it out in Jamboree, and I think that's the mode that most people kind of like out of Mario Party. So I think it's kind of weird that they didn't really do anything new with that. I mean, I guess the new mini games and also like the little camera thing they're doing with like with game chat. But I think they could have done something like a new board. I know for $20, I think on top of this Jamboree TV mode, I think one board would have been acceptable, because there already is a lot of content in Super Mario Party Jamboree, so I think at least one new board would have been fine. Like maybe something from like Mario Party 3, like Waluigi Island, or Chilly Waters, or like Deep Bloober Sea, something like that would have been definitely like pretty good, I would say. Like, because a lot of people have been asking for a Mario Party 3 board, and it would just make sense, like with Mario Party Superstars having like Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, it would only make sense for Jamboree to also kind of follow that trend and have like at least one board for Mario Party 3. So I think they could have done something like that to kind of like please that part of the audience that likes the regular Mario Party mode. So I just think that would have made a little more sense there if they did something like that. Like, again, I do think the Jamboree TV mode and the new minigames are cool. I think it does make sense to a degree that they are doing that, but at the same time, I think with the theme and the direction that Super Mario Party Jamboree was going in, like with fully bringing back and fleshing out that classic Mario Party formula, I feel like at least one new classic board would have been good, I would say, on top of this, just to please that part of the audience. But yeah, I just think it's a little weird that they didn't do that, but I think the package still is fine, I would say. Like, I think 20 new minigames, 3 new modes, which, I think, or either 2 or 3 new modes, I forgot what it was exactly, but, the new modes do look fun, but I'm just wondering, like, how much replay value they'll have, and how fun it will be to play with friends. Like, if there's, like, enough content here to play through, like, a few different gaming sessions with friends. I'm just wondering that as someone who's played Super Mario Party Jamboree for, like, 50 hours now. So, I just kind of want to know these things, and just hopefully this is enough here for $20. But I just think it's kind of weird that they did cut corners in some areas, and there's just a lot of, like, asterisks involved with this, because it seems like a lot of the time Nintendo Cube kind of does cut corners in some ways. I'm not one of those people that call out developers for being lazy, because I don't think that's my place, and I don't really think that is entirely right to say that, because I think Nintendo Cube is doing a great job with Super Mario Party Jamboree. It looks very fleshed out and very polished, and the base game is excellent. I would say it's one of the best multiplayer Switch games in my opinion, but there are just some little things that they just kind of cut corners or fall behind on, and I've always thought that was just a little weird. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!